Good evening. Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show live on GOlive TV. How is everybody doing? All right, fantastic. Let me ask again. How is everyone doing? Awesome. Thank you so much. It's so great to be back in the studio and seeing everyone looking so beautiful and healthy. And yes, this is Canada. The weather outside sometimes can be frightful, but we know the people inside are always delightful. And I'm so thrilled to be here and to showcase some of the finest people in the GTA. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce a woman who is making incredible grounds in the community. She is just incredibly stellar and beautiful. So without further ado, please meet Jamila Gay of Jamila Gay Coaching. Welcome.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I love the color you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you very much.
So beautiful, a powerful color. So I have to say that it was really an amazing divine encounter. We met maybe even 2 weeks ago,
Yes.
not even 3 weeks ago, and there was just this moment, and we connected and made everything happen for today. So I'm really grateful for that.
Same.
But I'd love to know a little bit about your background leading up to your coaching business.
Okay. So in addition to being an ADHD and executive function coach, I'm also a registered early childhood educator. So I come from
Same.
there you go. I come from a long line of educators, and I've been working in childcare for over a decade. I have been an ECA, a registered ECE. I have been the supervisor of 2 childcare centers. And in 2020, I decided that it was time to venture off on my own and launch my own company, initially called Diamond Initiative. And I rebranded into Jamila Gay Coaching with a focus on ADHD and executive function coaching.
Okay, excellent. Now, for those who may not understand what ADHD is, can you just describe what it is?
Absolutely.
And even executive functioning.
Yes. So ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. And it's a neurodevelopmental condition that affects approximately 5 to 7% of Canadians. So generally 1 in 21 Canadians you would find may have ADHD. And then when you think of executive function, whether or not you're diagnosed with ADHD, every human being walking around has a certain set of executive function skills that they need to get through their daily lives and to function effectively. So these include your time management skills, your working memory, your impulsivity. How are you regulating your emotion, your emotional self-control, for example. So all of that falls under the umbrella of ADHD. And there is a genetic component that studies have found plays a huge factor in that. So if you see a child with ADHD, there is a likeliness that either one or both parents will or may have ADHD as well, whether or not they know it.
Okay, and you mentioned short attention span as one of
Yes.
those. Okay, because I feel like I have that. I come into a situation and then it's like squirrel.
There you
Then
go.
I lose my train of thought. So this is something that's been happening, since I was a little girl. But I do notice it in one of my children as well. So you're saying that is genetic.
Yes. So it's interesting that you say that, because I've found a lot of parents that come to me initially to seek services for their children. When we have that discussion, we go through the discovery call, we go through the checklist of some of the traits and experiences or challenges that children may have. The light bulb goes off a bit and they think, I experience these things too. But a few years ago, or even a few decades ago, the way ADHD was described, or what we were expecting to present as ADHD, was a generally hyperactive boy's disorder. There's so much more to it right now, and yes, it is individualized from person to person. It presents in different ways. But for example, the hyperactivity, a lot of people don't know that you can be internally hyperactive. So that's the racing thoughts. Do you have insomnia? How hard is it for you to fall asleep at night because you just can't shut your mind off? And then you'd come across like the inattention, for example, or moving from one thing to the other. Impulsivity. So have you made impulsive or rash decisions frequently in your life? Do you find that it's very hard for you to regulate your emotions, or do you perceive rejection in a very extreme way that may not seem that it fits the circumstances to
Right.
someone else? So those are some of the things that you would look for, or you can notice when it comes to ADHD. And there's so much more, but it's only so much I can mention for now.
Absolutely. And how did you manage your own when you noticed the symptoms or the patterns of ADHD in your own?
So it's really
Abilities.
interesting. I am only recently diagnosed with ADHD. I self-diagnosed before because in doing my own research and doing my own studies and finding out more about it so that I can help others, they say hindsight is 2020, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yes.
looking back, I can see that I probably gravitated towards this field because I can see it in myself, and the supports that I'm trying to provide to others is the supports that I wish I had growing up had I known that I had ADHD. So some of the things I do, for example, working memory is a challenge for me. It's a struggle. So having this conversation, I may start saying something, and by the time I start with the first sentence, I'm already forgetting the end of what I wanted to say.
Right.
So having cue cards may work. And it's about letting go of pride as well, because some people may think, well, if I have cards with me or if I have notes with me, I may not come across as professional, but you have to do what works for you. So that's something that helps. With time management, I use my checklist, I prioritize, and rather than going on a daily basis off of time, I go off of my momentum and my energy. And I track basically what I feel like in the day. So am I most active in the morning? Do I work better at night? Where does my momentum range from hour to hour? And I plan my day around that because it's most effective for me. For other people, it's Post-its, frequent reminders on your phone. So set your alarms. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you want to ensure you're not missing your deadlines. You are not running late on work appointments, for example, that you're paying your bills on time, that you're picking up your kids on time. These are things that you want to make sure that you can keep regulated.
Awesome. So a lot of reminders, a lot of visual cues
Yes.
to keep you on task. Excellent. So when people come to you seeking services, how do you assess them?
It depends. Some people already have a diagnosis when they come to me, so they've already had an official assessment done. For others, I don't officially diagnose. However, I can still provide support. If you're an adult, for example, if you come to me, I can go through the adult self-screener with you, which is something that you can do at home. But a lot of clients find that they need that support in really understanding what each item on that checklist means, how it presents in them, and then how they can move forward with either managing these challenges or finding ways to make their strengths work for them. Because there are a lot of strengths with individuals who have ADHD, and many people don't know that. But it's about, again, getting the information. Information aids transformation. So once you have that knowledge and we go through those checklists, then we can move forward to co-create very personalized strategies that will work for you.
I love that. Information
Aids transformation.
aids transformation.
Yes.
Fantastic. I may, if I may use that.
Of course, absolutely.
Have you copywritten it? Because I think it's going to go viral.
I have not, but I'm thinking
I
maybe
think
I
you
should now.
You should. Absolutely. Yeah. I just thought of that. So I know you have something very exciting coming up.
I
And I was
do.
sent an invitation and I said yes right away. Tell us about your retreat.
Okay, so the On Purpose Retreat is a retreat that I have created and curated for Black women across the GTA, and hopefully further. I'm planning on taking it much further. But, there's a quote that really resonates with me by Audre Lorde. It says, "If I didn't define myself for myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive." And there are so many fantasies for the Black woman that has been created across society, in families, in workplaces. And this weekend is about giving those women the opportunity to redefine themselves, to create their own self-definition, and really reconnect with themselves as well. It's about pouring into yourself, because burnout is a serious thing.
Yes.
Mental wellness is serious as well. And even though we're discussing it more now, it's still highly stigmatized, especially in our community, and it's not discussed enough. And it's about bringing that awareness and having a wonderful time doing it too. There's a reason when you're on a plane, they tell you, put your mask on before you put it on anyone else. And it's because you have to be able to care for yourself before you can efficiently care for someone else. So the On Purpose Retreat is really about reconnecting with yourself, with like-minded women in the community, knowing that you're not alone, unpacking your burdens, unpacking your trauma. What are the barriers that are holding you back from being the best version of yourself? And how can we get you to now enter this new season of your life?
Amazing. That is brilliant. Thank you so much for that. And I look forward to it. And can you remind us what dates?
Yes. So this year's On Purpose Retreat will be held from September 14th to 17th. It's going to be held at a wonderful cottage in Marmora. So it's about 2.5 hours from Toronto. Sorry. There's going to be a spa-like hot tub, a pool, food inclusive, access to the lake and nature. It's really going to be a wonderful experience.
I love it. You know, and as you alluded to, it's really important to pay attention to your body cues.
Yes.
And, you know, I speak from experience where, you know, having a cold, losing your voice, like I recently experienced, that's all because of just moving my body.
Yes.
And when I was tired, I should have, you know, spent that extra time to rest. So the body will tell you, okay, slow down. So be very mindful of your body cues and take care of yourself, like fill up your love tank.
Yes.
Through self-care.
Yes,
It's very important.
And be proactive with it too, because you don't always want to wait until those things happen, until you feel exhausted, until you feel signs of depression coming on. For example, you want to be proactive with it. Vulnerability is strength, and it's really important, like you said, to really nurture that self-care too.
Absolutely. Now, there's something exciting that you have for us.
Yes, there is.
So as you shared about this amazing retreat coming up in September, you have something that you'd like to give away as well related to the retreat. Go ahead.
I do. So the first person to email me will be receiving a 10% discount to the retreat for yourself and for a friend. And that email address is info@jameliagaycoaching.com. That's JAMELIAGAY coaching.com.
Excellent. All right. Well, I hope, you know, there's a lucky winner out there. So please email info@jameliagaycoaching.com. And the first person that Jamelia receives that email is going to be going to the retreat in September.
Yes.
Awesome. So look forward to hearing who that winner is.
Indeed. And sorry, before I forget, if you don't mind, I also wanted to give a giveaway for a coaching session. So
let's go.
There's going to be a second giveaway. So same thing, send me an email. In the title, put coaching, and you will get a free one-on-one coaching session with me as well. We'll have a discovery call, which is complimentary, and then we'll have the free full session.
Fantastic. Yes, you want to take advantage of that. So the retreat, subject line retreat, and if you want to enter for the coaching contest, then subject line coaching. And send an email to info@jameliagaycoaching.com.
Yes.
Awesome. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing, you know, your wealth of wisdom and what you do. And how can people find you on social media?
So you can find me just about anywhere at Jamelia Gay Coaching. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's Jamelia Gay Coaching. And my website is also www.jameliagaycoaching.com. So once you have the name, you're good to go.
Excellent. And I want to ask you one more thing.
Yes.
We're in the midst of Black History Month. And I wanted to ask you, what is Black history to you?
Black history is powerful. Black history is not just history, but it's looking forward. Yes, we look back and we look back to the excellence, but we also look back to the hardships, the challenges, so that we grow from it, we learn from it, we advocate for ourselves as a result of it, and then we use our history and our historical knowledge to create present habits that can instill generational values for our children who are coming, because when they are here, we are living in history, in Black history, so we are Black history.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Pearls of wisdom. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jamelia Gay.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We'll be back.
On my knees again, I'm praying. God, give me strength for one more day. Lay my burdens at your feet. No problem, no battle you can't defeat. My heart belongs to you, 'cause only your love can see me through. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, no longer living that flat line. Saving me was part of your design. I put my life in your hand. You're always forgiving, you understand. Thank you, Lord, for what you do, 'cause only your love can see me through. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, for your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, for your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, for your love, ooh, for your love, ooh. Always forever, always forever. Always forever, always forever.
All right, welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. Let's do a wellness check. How's everybody doing out there? All right. Fantastic. You're watching the Nikki Clarke Show here live on GOlive TV. And if you want to see other incredible episodes of the Nikki Clarke Show, you're welcome to check it out on YouTube, The Nikki Clarke Show, as well as going to the website, thenikkiClarkenetwork.com. The show is about transforming lives one story at a time, and I invite people from all walks of life to come and share their heart stories and talk about some of the achievements they've made and through some challenging periods in their life, so we can learn from them and learn from their example. And we have an incredible gentleman with us here who has an example for us to follow for sure. He is the CEO of Best Mortgage Solutions. Please welcome Brooke Telehun. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Nikki. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And it's so nice to see your lovely family here in the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a fan out here taking a picture.
That's my daughter, Ellie.
Fantastic. So tell me, you've done a number of things, and I can't wait to talk about all of them, but tell us about your background leading up to what you're doing today.
Yeah,
podcaster, you've got this business.
I'll start with a little bit of personal. So I'm a first-generation immigrant. I immigrated from Ethiopia in 1992 in Clarke, Niagara region, my homes ever since then. And then, in school, I went to school for law enforcement. I wanted to be, police officer at one point.
Wow.
Yeah. And quickly found that was not for me. I wanted to work with, still with people, but in a different environment. So I got into the mortgage business. And about 2 years ago, I started my own brokerage. And I haven't looked back ever since. So it's a little bit about me. And yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
When people move into their purpose, career path, they're driven by a need. Did you have something in your own personal life that made you focus into mortgage brokerage?
Well, you know what? I probably focused on the skills that I was good at, and that's people skills. Right. And in this business, it's all about the people, the person. Not too much focusing on the transaction. So I've always had that ability to, find the trust in people very quickly, building relationships. So, and then, I had a lot of sales background as well. So that kind of complement those two together.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, as far as home ownership goes, it's not an easy path especially for young people today. That was always a struggle, and so that's something I wanted to change for folks and try to get them into home ownership, which is very important as far as generational wealth goes. So.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. We know that home ownership does, create a cycle of wealth, generational wealth, but it seems like it's such a dream for a lot of people and so far-reaching. So with your services, how do you make that dream a reality for people?
Well, it's always that discovery call and understanding the goals. Obviously, home ownership is on the top of everybody's mind. So, getting down and putting on paper what their, as far as specifically as a first-time home buyer, what their plan is for the 3 years or 2 years or 5 years, and make a plan and focusing on that plan, whether it's starting from their budget, if we hone down and kind of, understand their whole financial situation, and if there's any coaching involved to get them there, that's where we should start. And then, of course, there's a lot of things that we have to consider. There's your income, the down payment that you have to have. If you're a first-time home buyer, you can put down 5 to 10%. Your credit is also a factor. And another thing that we also have to understand is liabilities and debts that we carry. And the most expensive debt that is hindering a lot of folks at this point in time is car loans. Car loans are very expensive. Yes. Payments are usually about between $700 to $800 in some cases because they're only amortized over 10 years, right? So it makes it very difficult. So you gotta have to, focus on your ultimate goal, and I think home ownership is the ultimate goal, and you gotta sacrifice or do what you have to do to attain that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are 3 things people should keep in mind in preparation to own their own home?
Yeah.
What should they do right away?
Well, get a budget plan together, and be open to finding other strategies. If it's co-ownership with a family or friend, or if it's with your partner, obviously that's pretty straightforward. Being open-minded. The down payment is always a factor, a big issue. So because house prices are being so high, and people's there's a lot of restrictive. There a lot of people at this point in time, their cash flows is very restricted, and so you got to be able to find ways to come up with the down payment. That's probably the most hard time for people to come up with. And then what I would say is, consider type of rates that you want to get into. If it's a fixed rate or a variable rate, knowing the difference between the two is very important. A fixed rate is an option where you would, if you want to have a budget that you're following and you're mitigated that way, the fixed rate is good for you. A variable rate is that it's a rate that fluctuates, and so your payment goes up and down. So that's something to consider. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So you provide options.
Yes.
And then you come back with a plan.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now you also dabble in something similar to what I do, a podcast.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, the podcast is centering around entrepreneurs and bringing on entrepreneurs. I mostly work with business owners, so I want to be able to celebrate business owners and what they're doing and some of the challenges that they've gone through, and showcasing them. So it's something that that I've started and I'm excited about. And yeah, it's called B2B Podcast, and it's on all your podcast outlets. Yeah.
Excellent. So you interview entrepreneurs,
Yes.
And you talk about, some of the valleys and the mountain experiences they've had.
Yeah.
Can you share like a challenge that you may have had when you entered the business area?
Well, one of the challenges is, getting your feet wet in the business is very difficult, and making the right choices at the right time is also something that's a hurdle. But one of the things I've learned over the years is we all can learn from one another,
Right.
and being open-minded to learn from one another. And so I want to be able to create an audience around that, and so that people that are thinking and taking a leap of faith and going to business have information that can help them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So how far do you want to take the podcast? Do you want to go on TV or?
Well, yeah, that's something I kind of wanted, to
Guidance.
some guidance from you actually,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to that and talking to you more about that. But yeah, I'd love to broadcast it everywhere. I think it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's very important that people have a solid foundation of financial literacy.
Yes.
And then, understand what their options are. I think a lot of people think that they don't have options,
Right.
and they think that, well, if I'm not in this situation, then I can't make it. But it's really important to empower people with that kind of knowledge.
Absolutely.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. Yeah, one thing I wanted to point out is, you've asked me about 3 points that I wanted to make about mortgages, and
Yes.
one of them I didn't mention is that, in Canada, the most expensive debt that we carry is our primary home.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the strategies is called the Smith maneuver, and the Smith maneuver is,
Right.
So what that is basically, if you are a homeowner and our mortgage is not tax deductible against our personal income, which is very expensive for us, and we pay it after tax dollars. With a simple restructure of your mortgage, you can convert your non-tax deductible mortgage into one that is, which is a very powerful, powerful strategy. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And you explain this to your clients
Yes.
as they meet you to go over a needs assessment?
Yes, absolutely. So for more my investment-focused clients who want to get into real estate investing, it's a great, powerful tool for them to exercise. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm learning a lot, and I
Yeah.
think I'd like to spend some more time to understand.
I'm open to that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, where can people find you on social media to learn more about what you do, or to have an appointment to?
Yeah, so you can reach my handle pretty much across the social platforms is Bruk the Broker. So that's BRUK the Broker. That's on LinkedIn, it's Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So that's Bruk the Broker. Yeah.
And if they want to be a guest on your show, the same.
If you want it, you can reach me there, and you can DM me, and we can make some time, and you can come visit my studios in Grimsby, Ontario, and it's shot live, and we can talk about your business and how you came up and what you're going to do. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
But before we go, I'm wondering if you can share one pearl of wisdom that you have. What would you advise someone who is becoming an entrepreneur? What advice would you give them about just taking a leap of faith and starting their business?
Well, I think looking at focusing on what you want to do, start there. Making sure that that's what you want to do, and do a lot of research, and reach out for folks around that industry that could mentor you. That's a good start. And make sure it's something that you love, and that's a big thing.
That's huge.
That's big. And so, for me in the mortgage business, I tend to change situations, which makes me feel good. It's really bad situations, right? People that maybe have gone to a financial challenge in their lives and things like that. So that's one thing, and also just being able to help somebody purchase a home, things like that. So make sure that's something you love. It's something that you love to do, and as far as getting mentorship, reach out to people. Don't hesitate to, get yourself out there and ask for help. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So find your passion
Yeah.
and then seek a mentor
You got it.
and then just go for it.
That's right.
All right.
I like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you. And yes, thanks so much. Brooke Telahun, check him out on social media. We'll be right back.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching the Nikki Clarke Show here on GOlive TV. I want to thank our very special guests, Jamelia Gay and Brooke Telahun. He's still here with me. Brooke, I think you want to share something before we go. Did you want to say something?
Oh, no, I was just saying thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure, and can't wait to do it again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out to the Nikki Clarke Show. You can email contact@NikkiClarkeNetwork.com, or you can give us a call at 647-849-2776. Also, I just want to thank our very special sponsors, the Navon website of women's clothing, as well as the Nikki Clarke Network. So always looking for great partners and sponsors. And again, reach out to us on the NikkiClarkeNetwork.com if you'd like to be part of this movement of transformation. Thank you very much. All the best. Stay safe, and God bless. Bye for now.